How do you take a floor plan like this and turn it to a presentation plan like this? Well, that's what I'll be showing you in this tutorial. My name is Christian from Architect CIA. Let's begin. To begin, I'm just going to clean up this plan to free up the interior spaces. To do that, let me create a new layer for the interior dimensions so that I can hide them, as I don't want to see them in the presentation plan. So I'll go Ctrl L to open layers, click new, and I'll name it Dimensioning Interior. Click OK. Let me also create a new layer combination for the presentation plan. If you don't know how layers and layer combination works, please click the video that just popped up at the top right corner. I'm also going to leave a link in the description. So on the left side, I'll click new and I'll name it Presentation Plan. Click OK and OK again. Pick a marquee tool and I'm just going to highlight a suitable area where I can pick all the interior dimensions like this. I'll select the dimensioning tool, Ctrl A to select everything inside the marquee. Just go to this layer area here and look for dimensioning interior, and I'll change all the interior dimensions to that. Alright, go back to my layers, look for dimensioning interior, just turn it off and update the presentation plan. Click OK. Now all the interior dimensions have been hidden. Alright, next I'm just going to turn on the grid line layer, hide layer, and also the layer for the section lines. Let's go back to layers, and I'm just going to turn on the layers for my furniture. So I'll look for presentation plan, interior furniture, make sure it's turned on and update. Okay, let's go back to layer and let me look for grid lines and turn it off, and also look for section and turn it off, updates. Okay. Alright, next I'm going to use a graphic override combination to work on this further and help us get to our final results. Now this is where it gets really interesting, so don't go anywhere. So let's go to Documents, Graphic Override and Graphic Override Combinations, or you can just click on this little icon at the bottom of the screen here to open the Graphic Override Combinations. I'm going to click New and name this Presentation Plan tool. Click OK. The first rule I'm going to add is to give all the cut fields a solid black color. That way our walls will become solid black. So I'll click Add and look for an already existing rule, all cut fields solid black. Click that and I'll click OK. Now you can see that all the walls have a solid paint color. Next, I'm going to give all the furniture and plumbing fittings a lighter paint color. Let's go back to Overrides, click Add, and I'm going to create a new row. I'll name this, say, All Gray Pen. Click OK. Edit Rule. Under Override Style, I'm going to check the box for Line Marker Text Pen, and I'll make this 107.13 mm. I'll add the criteria. Under Model View, I'm going to choose Layers, and I'm going to select Interior Furniture. Click OK. Now it's important to point out that the way these rules are arranged matters. So how it works is that the rule at the top will always take precedence over the rule at the bottom. So let me explain to you. So I've made the furniture a lighter pen color. Let me just click OK. But if you see, the furniture hasn't really changed, right? So let me go back to Graphic Overrides, and if I take this gray pen and just move it above the solid black cut field, now it's above. If I click OK again, you can see now that our furniture has a lighter pen color. So just to point that out, it's important how you arrange the rules in Graphic Overrides. Alright, moving on, let me add more criteria to the gray pen rule. Add criteria, select layer again, and I'll look for the layer for my plumbing fittings. add another layer for my kitchen fittings, depending on how you arrange your layers and your layer combinations. But this is how I arrange mine. Click OK. OK again. Alright, that's how we want it. Good. For the next step, I'm going to create a couple of rules so that I can use the zones to give textures to the floors. To make this happen, I'm going to create some image fields using textures I downloaded from Google and others from the Surface Catalog in the ArchiCAD library. This is where the presentation plan really begins to come alive. So I'm going to open Options, Element Attributes, Fields. Click New, Image Field, and I'm just going to name this Living Area Tiles. Click OK. Now I'll click Browse. And now we have an option to either choose from the ArchiCAD Surface Catalog available to us in the ArchiCAD library, or we can just click Add and bring the texture from external source. But for these tiles, I'm going to use one available to us in ArchiCAD. So let me just look for the tiles I'm looking for. I'll go to Flooring, Tiles. I'm just going to look for a light gray tile. Say light gray, 60 by 120. Click OK. Alright. Make sure cover fill is checked, scale independent, and I'll just make this 15 mm. Well, if you check this out and you don't like the size of the tiling, you can always come back and change this size to give you whatever you want. I'll click OK. Let me go back to graphic overrides. I'll add. I'm going to create a new row and I'll name this Living Area Cover Fill. Click OK. Make sure the rule is above solid black. Edit rule, add criteria. This time I'm going to choose ID and categories and choose ID name. I'll just type living room here. Now what this criteria will do is that it will identify any element in the project with the ID name as living room. In this case, there's a zone named living room, so that's what will be identified. Alright. Under override style, I'm going to check the box for field type. Make sure cover fill is checked, and I'm going to look for the image field just created, Living Area Tiles. Click OK. OK again. Cool. Now you can see that the field we have has changed to just what we want. Now I'll go back and add more criteria to that same rule for the dining, lobby, and bedroom. So go back to graphic override, living area, edit rule, add, and I'm just going to add 3 more ID name criteria. I'll name this dining. I'll name this lobby, and I'll name this bedroom. Click OK and OK again. Cool, right? Now let me just zoom in and show you guys something. We have a little problem here. You can see that this texture fill has covered our furniture, our dining. So to correct that, let me just go back to graphic overrides, and under this gray pen rule, I'm going to edit rule, and I'm going to check fill type, make sure cover fill is checked, and I'm just going to use solid fill 25%. Check fill background pen and just make it white. Okay, click OK. OK again. Now our dining is back. Alright, let me create 3 more image fields for the other zones, starting with the kitchen area. So let's go Options, Element Attributes, Fields, New, Image Field, and I'll name this Kitchen Tiles. Okay, I'll click Browse. This time I'll click Add and look for one of the textures I downloaded. Of course, like always, if you want this texture, just let me know. Just let me know in the comment section and I'll make sure it's sent to you. So I'll just look for this marble tiles we have here. Let it load. Click OK. Make sure cover fill is checked. Scale independence. I'll just make this pattern size 10. Okay. Go back to element attributes. Let me create 2 more fields. New, image field, and I'll just call this bathroom tiles. Click OK, browse, and I'll go back to ArchiCAD surface catalog and look for the white tile. Let's go to flooring, tiles, and I'll just look for any white tile here. Say white mat 30 by 30. Click OK. Cover field checked, scale independence, and I'll just give this pattern size 10. And I'll also make the rotation 45 degrees. Okay, go back to new, image fill, and the tiles for the outside areas, the terrace, I'll just name this terrace. Terrace tiles. Okay. Check cover fill. Go to browse. Go back to surface catalog. Flooring. Tiles. And I'll look for the one I've used before. Say tan 30 by 30. Okay. Scale independence and pattern size 15 too. Just click OK. So let's go back to graphic overrides, and I'll create the first rule. Again, just create new rule. For the kitchen area, I'll just name this kitchen area. Okay. Make sure it's above. Edit rule. Add criteria. Let's add 3 ID name criteria. First one will be kitchen. Second one will be pantry. Third one will be laundry. Check field type. Make sure cover fill is checked. And I'm going to look for kitchen tiles. Click OK. OK again. Alright, so we have these tiles in the kitchen. Next, let's do one for the foyer and the terrace. Go back to graphic overrides, add the criteria, and name this terrace. Click OK. Move it upwards. Edit rule. Add criteria. Let's give this 3 ID name criteria. First one, I'll say terrace. Second one, just make this VAR for veranda. And the third one, let's name this foyer. Check field type. Cover field checked. Let's make sure terrace tiles is picked. Okay. Okay again. Cool, right? Okay, next we're going to do one for the bathroom tiles. Graphic override again. Add a new row. And I'll call this bathroom tiles. Click OK. Move it up. Edit rule. I'll add 2 ID name criteria. First one, I'll just say WC. Second one, VT for visitors toilet. Check field type. Cover field checked. And I'm going to look for bathroom tiles. Click OK and OK again. Alright, so we have all our textures in place. Now, if you want to leave this like this, that's fine, but I still have one more trick up my sleeve. See, adding shadows will make this look much better, but for some reason ArchiCAD doesn't have a feature to add shadows to floor plans directly, unless you create a 3D document. So let me show you how you can bring shadows to this design and totally enhance the view. To do that, I'll create a new 3D document. Right click and just select new 3D document from floor plan. Just create, right click, go to 3D document settings. Under uncut elements, under uncut fields, I'll select uniform pen, color fill, non-shaded. Check the box for shadows. Make sure the fill background pen is transparent. I'll leave the fill pen at 15.15 and the shadow polygon at 50%. Yeah, click OK. Now, I would like to adjust the shadow a little just to make it stay at an angle. So to do that, I'm going to go to View, 3D View Options, 3D Projection Settings, and just pick this sun position and move it to an angle like this, and click OK. Right click, we define 3D documents based on current floor plan window. We define anyway. Alright, I think I like the shadow like this. Now I'll just copy everything here. Just copy all of this. Ctrl C. Go back to floor plan. Ctrl V and paste it in the floor plan. I'll just move this to the side. Click outside. Now when I copy this from the 3D document, this no longer becomes associated with our model. So if you zoom in, you can see that these are now just fields and lines. Okay, that's what ArchiCAD does for us. Changes them to just fields and lines. Okay. Now out of all of this, the only thing I need from this is the shadows. So I'll have to find a way to isolate the shadows from everything else. Let me show you how I'll do that. So I'll just Ctrl F to open, find and select. Then if we zoom in, we can see that, let me just click one of these shadows, ungroup it, click one of the shadows, and you can see that the shadow cut fill is 50%, the pen is 0.2 and is also transparent. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to key in all that criteria into our find and select, so it will help isolate the shadows. So I'm going to use the marquee tool just to select this one, so everything inside the marquee is what we'll be working with. I'll click add, and under floor plan and section, I'll click fill and click pen. Okay, under fill, I'm going to look for 50%, and under pen, I'm going to look for 0.2, pen number 2, 0.15 mm. So I'm just going to click select. So find and select to help us select the elements with all that criteria. So I'm just going to look for an origin and pick it and drop it in our floor plan. Ctrl G, let me just group all the shadows. Right click, display order and bring to front. Alright, so let me just delete this. So if we can zoom in, we can see our shadows here, but I'm just going to change this pen to make it a little bit deeper. Okay. Okay, I did that for only one of the shadows. So let me click on this shadow, Ctrl G to group everything. I'll just make this pen 1. Now we have much darker shadows. So as you can see, we now have shadows in our projects. Cool, right? Let me turn this off. So with this, I can just go to the view map, new folder, and make this presentation. Click OK. Right click and save current view. Let's just leave this and make sure the layer combination is presentation plan and the graphic override is also presentation plan. I'm just going to create. Okay, so if we go back to our original working drawing, ground floor, this is what we have. But you can see that our shadow is still available here. So I'm going to go and just click all these shadows. But let's go back to our layers, new, and I'll create a new layer for the shadows. I'll just name this shadows. Okay. And under presentation plan, make sure the shadow is showing, and under our working drawing combination is off. Okay. All right. So I'll just change this to shadows. Go back to our layer, plans, look for shadows. It's off, right? Okay. All right. So this is off. So if I go back to my presentation plan, you can see we have this here, and our ground floor working drawing that way. So this is how you create presentation plans. Alright guys, if you found this tutorial helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell notification so anytime I post a video, you'll be notified. If you want to learn about how this view map works, or if you want to learn about layers and layer combinations, please click the video on your screen. See you in the next one.